big echo.
Clap on. Clap off. There we go. There we go. Clapper. Can
You're
you hear?
annoying.
Why? Are we live this time? I just gave the dopest intro ever for any of our shows, and I'm going to try to do it verbatim again because somebody wasn't recording properly. He was recording me. Welcome, everybody, to episode cuatro. That's 4 in Espanol. Sí, muy hablo español un poco.
Uno, dos, cuatros.
Cuatro.
Uno, dos, cuatros.
Stop. Just
Uno, dos,
look.
tres,
What's
cuatro,
up?
cinco, seis. Okay, that's right.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. Let me say this because you was wrong. So, anyway, welcome everybody back to episode 4 of Out the Chute. I am Jeff McCool, a.k.a. Brahma Boo, a.k.a. All of Moccasin Creek, a.k.a. Big Sexy the Giant Killer, a.k.a. married to this hot chick right here. My wife. What up, Daff?
You got a dip hanging out your lip.
Welcome to episode 4. How are you, baby? I haven't seen you but like twice today.
My headphones are falling off.
It's probably because you got that big old that
Bun
big
on
old
the top of my head.
Well,
I'm kind
hostess
of...
honey bun on top of your cranium.
Don't be making fun of me. I'm going to have to go look and see what I look like now.
Oh, you was taking selfies before the show started. Now she wants to look, see how she looks. She knows how she looks. You look good. You look damn good.
Honey bun.
You look better than any 39-year-old bitch I know.
That's right, 39.
Yeah. So, I figured out something today. I was sitting there thinking, I was telling you each week I was trying to come up with like these, maybe not segments, but something we do each week. And guess what I came up with?
Oh, God.
Crazy fan shit of the week. So
every
episode, absolutely, we ain't got to call them by name.
Well, they don't know who they are.
Well, I don't give a damn. If they know who they are, they know what it's about. So I want to take it back to one of the very first crazy fan interactions. Not crazy fan, crazy antics that a fan has done either at a show or online or stalking us or anything like that. But this particular instance, I would like to take us back to about 2011 in the small fishing Florida town of 12, maybe 2011, 2012-ish, very early back in the day. And if you stop interrupting, I'd get it right because I'm trying to roll this out that we were in a very small fishing town in the state of Florida by the name of Carabelle. And do you remember Carabelle and what took place at the Carabelle Mud Bog? Or what was the name of the mud bog?
It was in Carabelle, Florida.
I forget the name of the mud bog, but we had a blast.
I don't remember the name of them. Oh, they're going to kill me.
Either way.
I can't remember the name of the mud bog.
Either way, so that was very early on.
Yes, sort of. It was.
Chuck was still with us. So
it was in 2012, I think.
And I think it was just me, Chuck, and Russell on stage at the time. Maybe Connor. Yes, Connor was there because I remember, even Rick, I believe, because we had to have help because they catered the
Are you sure it was Connor? I thought maybe it was like Andrew.
It was Nick.
It was Nick.
It was Nick. We've had 57 drummers. Connor and Jim are the only ones that matter.
Nick matters.
Oh, well, Nick's a duo. Nick's like...
Nick's everything.
Yeah,
Nick's played bass, guitar, drums.
Yeah, Nick's like Jose Canseco in his later years. He just played every position.
It was Nick.
Without the steroid. Hey, Nick played a whole show on a 5-gallon bucket behind the kid. So anyway, before I get carried on and keep going, let's go back to Carabelle.
Your cousin Dana was there.
Cousin Dana was there with Paul. That's when we first met Paul.
Paul wasn't there.
Hey, don't call her out now. She was there with some dude, wasn't she?
It wasn't Paul.
Paul, if it wasn't you, I'm sorry. It was a dork.
You might as well just keep talking and shut up about who I was there with who.
Man, this was like 11 years ago, 10 years ago, not something. So we're in Carabelle at the Mud Bog, and I can't think of the name of. They catered the shit out of it. Remember how much food we had? I remember that. That's what's crazy. Big stage. I mean, packed ass house. What, 2,000 there? 1,500?
No. I know where you're getting.
Yeah, well, I know. Cause we had this thing for a little while where I could walk over to Daphne during the show, like doing my thing. I'd be like, watch this. And she'd always be like, oh.
I'm a good wife.
She'd always be like, oh, Lord, I don't know what's about to happen. Because it'd always be something different. Well, this particular day in Carabelle, Florida, it was 5,612-ish degrees, maybe. It was hot, right? And I was pretty plump. I mean, I'm still thick. I was a big boy. Still am. And I was going through this phase where I had the high mohawk, so I always wore a
Bandana.
A bandana, right? To keep the sweat out the eyes, you know? This, I almost said the B word.
Lady.
This lady, in the first or second row, she was jamming, son. She knew all the words to all the songs. She was jamming. She was dancing. And about every show, you know, I throw something or two things or three, maybe five sometimes, stuff out in the crowd. I didn't have any merch next to me, so I went over and I just told Daphne, I said, well, I just had a feeling. Well, I took that bandana off, and this thing is wetter than Cardi B's new hit.
Why are we telling these stories?
I took this bandana off and tossed it to a lady in the crowd. What'd she do, baby? What'd she do? She went 1987 Warrant video live in person and wrung that nasty ass bandana out. It was like I saw it in slow motion too. You know, in the water scenes when I was sitting there like, you nasty bitch. Like,
I thought you were talking about.
Oh, it was so terrible.
Well, I mean, I knew you were going to say that, but this is the same show.
Yeah, there were two instances there. Two crazy fan interactions.
You decided to jump into the crowd, which is a no-no.
I don't do much.
And this lady decides to grab you and kiss you. And I was like...
She didn't kiss me. She tongue raped me. I got me too to the mud ball.
And I literally...
I did, bro.
I told... Well, your Dana saw it before I did.
Yeah, my cousin was like...
She goes, I'm going to beat that bitch's ass. I was like,
nah, it ain't worth it. Yeah, so those were like two crazy like fan experiences in the same weekend. But
That's
the funny
same
thing,
night.
Yeah, same night. But the funny thing is like what we do or what we did, you know, especially man, we used to have some rowdy shows. I mean, you got to figure we go out with these kicking ass and taking names, only warning, like all these in your face, and the crowd would get Crunk Nation, like straight up Lil Jon and the East Side Boys.
I have seen, in all honesty, more naked people at Moccasin Creek shows. More nakedness.
You've seen the lead singer naked at a Moccasin Creek show.
Well, let's don't go down that. Oh my God, I wanted to kill you that night.
Let's do a new segment. Tom's Daphne wanted to kill me on the road. What would that be?
That would be probably one of the top nights.
You got to
in North Carolina.
You got to remember too. I've had a lot of head injuries over the years.
I don't know.
I did a lot of drugs over the years.
It has
and I smoked a lot of reefer, so I don't remember all.
Okay.
You
Let me enlighten you. You
remember?
Well, you might not remember this. You were drunk.
No.
I quit that night. I did. I remember walking out from behind the merch table. I did.
Hold on. Now I know where you're going.
Yeah, you know where I'm going.
We're in North Carolina.
Yeah.
I got in a fight before the show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was already a bad night.
Mm-hmm. It was already a bad night because you got in a fight with the security before the show. I'm holding my headphones because they're falling.
Did cuss the sound guy who ended up being the owner.
And no,
it was a bad night.
Oh, it was. Well, no.
But the show was banging.
So the owner actually was a decent guy. His head of security was a dick. Like seriously.
Well, hold on. Let me preface too. We're still in the learning phases. Like I'm still at this point in our career where I don't know how to act. Like I mean, I knew how to act, but I'm just saying.
You knew how to act.
I didn't know how much was too much when I was still drinking during shows.
First
is what I'm
of
saying.
all.
But hold up, no,
what do you keep interrupting me for?
Big misconception. People, you gotta take up for me right here, cause
why? I ain't taking it for nothing that night.
It wasn't far after. Did I drink heavily on stage for the last 3 years I performed?
No.
Right.
But that wasn't very far after. You should have probably stopped right after that.
Because of instances like, I'll turn this one over to Cookie.
No, Cookie. About cookied your ass that night.
You did bake me.
Oh, God, I've never wanted to hurt you so bad.
Okay, tell the story. What happened? I'm
Well, first of all, the security dude was really a dick. Mm-hmm. And I remember you and Connor were actually just going to roll him down like the stairs or something.
He was like 6'7", 330,
yeah, but
340.
he was just a dick for no reason. It's one of those.
He got dealt with.
And but anyway, so Jeff decides to continue. I don't know, some hooch behind the bar.
Hold on.
I'm still talking, and you're interrupting.
Was the show live?
The show was live.
All right, thank you.
The show was live.
I did my job.
Oh yeah, you kept everybody entertained. I remember at one point I handed the keys over to Rick. Literally, got up from the merch table, handed the keys to Rick, and said, "I effing quit." I'm done. Went and got 2 shots of tequila.
Yeah, you know what's rough when you start drinking.
And just walked out.
What happened?
Okay, so Jeff is on stage.
Because obviously, I don't remember vividly.
So Jeff's on stage. By the end of the night, he's pretty much naked.
I had drawers
on
and
stage,
shoes on.
He had given his shirt to some.
First, I threw it in the crowd.
No, you didn't. First off, it started out with he handed his shirt to some chick in the crowd right on the front row. I don't know. Anyway, long story short, he is throwing shit and going totally off of the set list. Chuck is so pissed.
Steve will confirm. I've never stuck to the set list.
Okay, that's beside. Like, you were way off that night. It was so bad that Connor threw a drumstick and hit you in the back of the head.
I do remember. I remember,
dude. And
he did. He clocked me.
I mean,
I was like, this little bastard.
But you were down to literally.
It was bad.
It was. I'm like,
I drank a fifth of Stag easy.
No, you drank more than that. They kept sending shots up all night long.
Was that the
to
night
the
I
stage.
had 30 Jello shots?
No, that was when you collapsed in North Carolina.
Oh.
This was in North Carolina. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, see, we're in another state. Right now we're in North Carolina. So we're going to stick to North Kakalaki for a little bit.
But it was one of those where they were escorting you out to the bus.
After I performed the show.
After you performed, they're escorting you. They're escorting you to the they're escorting you to the bus, and you kept trying. You did. You got on the bus, and then you snuck back in down the hallway and was hiding behind the damn amps. And I'm like,
why? Trying to drink or fight?
Just drink.
I just remember being. I was MC Hammer Time.
So.
I was 1991 Hammer Time.
Shit. So I'm gonna go ahead and say anybody that was at that show.
I'm sorry.
That night, you kept calling the club the wrong name. If anybody that was at that show that
night, it's embarrassing, but it's funny. It's real life.
That heard you.
They had a blast.
I'm sure they had a blast. I will apologize right now.
But I will say this:
anything that got.
I take a lot of pride in the fact that that's probably one that we didn't get asked to come back to, because we've always been asked back.
You know what? I've spoken to the owner since then a few times, and he doesn't hold any animosity towards you. You got the crowd to drink.
That's right. Yeah, that's the thing. I do remember after that show.
So pissed.
I remember either the owner or the manager. I remember one of them telling me, "Hey, it was blah blah blah." He said, I've never sold this much liquor on a Friday night. And I was like, I did my job then. Get out my face. I was hyped. I don't know why. I used to drink heavy.
You were on another level.
I'm on another level right now.
And
I feel good today. Can't you tell the difference in me? Can't y'all tell the difference in me than last week, people? I had a phone call from a close friend today that called me. And you know who it is. And he said,
Me?
Nah. Yeah, you know who it is. But he called me today and he said, man, that last podcast, you pissed me off. I was like, why? He's like, all you do is sit there and be down on yourself and blah, 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 this, that. This shit's funny, man. Have a good time. I was like, oh, cool. Well, people could see that I was distraught last week. That made me upset, but it made me happy that they noticed and they watched. I don't know why I said that, but it made me really think about throwing all the bullshit aside and having fun doing this. So I'm having fun today. You're welcome.
Thanks.
I don't know why I needed a thank you for. Oh, so anyway, so while we're on North Kakalaki, let's go ahead and parlay that on. Was that the same? I'm trying to think of what weekend that was. Like,
I don't know. I remember that night. I remember we left that night on the bus, pulled out, and I remember. Connor telling me, "Daff, just don't, because you can't talk to him right now because he's drunk." I said, "I ain't wanting to talk to him. I just want to put his ass off the bus and leave him here."
Oh.
Yeah, I was ill.
Sorry.
Uh-huh.
I bet just on the road alone, in 9.5, 10 years on the road, about 1,000 shows, I probably had to apologize 3,700 times.
To who, me?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the road used to work. My brain didn't handle it like it used to. I think a lot of it's because I was drinking. And then when I quit drinking, I was eating pills.
I severely.
But that wasn't my fault. I mean, it was my fault that I continued past my original.
I was fixing to say, who was going to blame for that one?
Nobody. I said I continued to take them after my original. Here, take these for 7 days, and your back might feel better. And I was like, damn, my back, everything feels better. Let me get these for about 6 months. Next subject. Sorry. Anyway, North Carolina.
I took our vows for better or for worse
It'll get
to
better.
the grave.
It'll get better.
Like, I've severely taken the better or worse.
It'll get better. That's what it's all about. For better or worse. The worst has been here. The worst is... Look, man, change the subject. Go back to North Carolina. Shout out to Robbie Wiles. He's surfing in Hatteras right now.
Where?
North Carolina.
Oh.
He posted a picture of a dope shot of him surfing today. I wish I could surf. I never could surf. I could bodyboard.
I don't think I want to surf.
All right, man, North Carolina.
North Carolina's where you actually fell out and thought you was on a helicopter, but wasn't.
Yeah, it was a bad night.
That was the night after you did a whole tray of Jell-O shots, like 30. Yeah. This lady comes by and she goes...
That was a night.
She says, do you want a Jell-O shot or two? And he goes, just leave the tray. And I was like, what?
That was an intermission back when we used to have some shows that would ask us to play for an hour and a half, take a 30-minute break, let the DJ come up and play the rest when we were still trying to get out. So the first half of the show was rocking. Gastonia? Was that where it was? Seems right. Sounds right.
Something like that.
But, yeah, we rock it, man. And nobody wanted to stop because momentum's going, it's jamming. And I'm like,
But she insisted.
Yeah, she's like, well, we got to have it. You know, this is what we do. She was cool as shit, too.
She was nice. But I guess I'm tired of dealing, or not tired.
Well, we didn't know back then.
Right.
I mean, we were too young. Nowadays, we'd be like, bitch, this ain't how we do it.
Yeah.
This is what we do. But yeah, at intermission, I remember sitting over there with you and the blonde lady. I can't remember her name. She helped us get the show there. But that's how small and new we were. We had people, getting us into bars for whatever we could play for. But on intermission, man, I had to have 30 Jell-O shots.
Yep.
And I didn't realize what that could do to your sugar and your blood pressure. Not that day, because we went up, did the second set.
Well, that's because you were drunk at the second set. Then you slept maybe about 4 hours, because we only got to sleep like 4 hours.
So was that the same weekend I was singing in the Blinded by the Light in the intersection naked?
I think Russell was there that weekend. Yeah, Russell was there that weekend.
That was that night.
Yep.
Because it was in Hickory.
Yep. Yep.
Hey, dude. Steve sings some crazy. Steve's in here. He's the engineer and what do you call it? Produces this thing, and he sees some crazy shit on the road, and he probably never even heard this story. So we're in North Carolina, and this is the night we got back. You're right. We didn't get any sleep because I remember daylight coming up, and our hotel room was literally at the corner of this intersection. I was just standing there.
All I'm going to say is Russell
Did I have on underdraw?
No.
That was butt bookie.
Russell
ass naked.
Russell has more pictures and
Standing
videos.
in the window, looking out at the intersection, because the sun was coming up. I kept going, blinded by the light. People were looking from the intersection.
We're at an intersection.
Just shaking that bitch. Yeah. It was terrible. And then the following night, I died on stage.
Well,
not really, had a bad show. Like, they died.
Not really on stage. In the parking lot.
Out.
In the parking lot.
That was the weirdest night. We're playing at the Wizard, one of my favorite places, man. This is one of those places that gave us a chance when we was little people, and we always went back and always had a blast. And man, we were only like 4 songs in too.
Not many.
About 15 minutes tops. We had done the intro and did some shit, and I remember looking out at the crowd, and I remember everybody's beer bottles being in the air. And then, I swear, it went black and white. I didn't hear anything. It was like the movies when you see it. It was like, it went black and white. I couldn't hear. It was just ringing in my ear. I just remember walking off the stage, going out in the parking lot. And next thing I know, I thought I was on a helicopter.
But you weren't.
What was my blood pressure?
It's way too high, like 250 over 200. I mean, it was bad.
Boy, you survived that shit. You can get through COVID. 16 through 30. I'll bring them on. Bring the next 11. I'm ready.
Crystal and Brad Brady.
Crystal McKinney-Hoke.
Brad Brady. There was just a lot of people there. Mike. Yeah, Mike followed you out. I think Mike caught you and kept you
My guitar player was doing damage control.
Oh, screw that.
It was bad, man. It was bad, though.
Damage control. I'll damage his fucking control.
See, now I got to edit.
You ain't got to edit. People know that. People know me. Yeah, this is on YouTube.
Yeah.
Why we got to edit anything?
Listen, man. I just cause
you
I don't
told
to
me real life when we started doing these.
It is real life.
So I guess I get to say what I want to say when I want to say it. If people
want
to know how I really feel.
She says she can say whatever she wants to, but she don't edit it, and then she don't watch it when it comes out.
I don't watch it, just so y'all know.
She don't watch the episode, so she wouldn't know if I cut it out
just
anyway.
So I watch a few minutes of it, but just so y'all know, I typically don't watch these. And just so you also know, Jeff edits these, so if I'm ever on here saying anything stupid or out of the way, you probably know it's not me saying it, and he cut stuff up and put me just saying it.
That's horseshit.
No, it ain't.
Hey, we got.
How could he do that? Are you sitting over there really grinning? You know how he can do that.
Hey, so North Carolina. Oh! One thing in North Carolina. Oh, dude, this shit just hit me. North Carolina is where Daphne decided to book us one night that we got out of there at like midnight and had to play in South Florida the next day at noon.
Actually,
negative. We had to go all the way from North Carolina, drive through the night, get down to South Florida, be there for a noon show, get done with it, and drive to Georgia and play it at night at 9 o'clock. Now, she was like, her excuse or her defense is, you told me to book y'all. I'm like, yeah, but I didn't. We ain't traveling on a jet train or a jet plane.
You know else who did it with you, and he don't hang it over my head to this day? Lenny Cooper.
I know. but me and Lenny both, we got lucky because we got rained out in Florida. But still, we had to make the trip, and it was cool. We still got paid. We got paid. But I forgot about that because we leave that show.
Never heard Lenny gripe about it.
Nah. We leave that show. We get to Georgia. It's still pissing rain. It's bad, bad, bad. And the park people were like, you're not getting paid unless you play. I'm like, we can't play in a storm. The sound guy's not. Remember, we waited there till like 2 a.m.
That's a different show. That was a different weekend, but I remember that show. Amazing how I can remember all these things. You know, for a long time.
We did that show in our pajamas.
I remember, but
so
that
we
was
could
a
get
different.
paid,
That was a different. That was a different show.
I thought that was the night after that Florida fiasco.
Nope, that was a different show. That was in. That was actually in Hortense, I think.
Yup, you're right.
And Lenny was there at that one too.
You're right. You're right.
But you know, I used to keep all that stuff just in my memory.
Yeah, and I'm drawing it back out like a fat therapist.
Like it's so weird.
Just bring it all out like Dr. Phil up.
Some things I choose to just forget.
Dr. Phil nuts.
Yeah,
got him.
nuts.
Hey, so let's go. We did North Carolina, and we did North Carolina a lot.
It's okay.
North Carolina was a blast.
Carolina.
No, I'm saying we did North Carolina a lot. We had a lot of fun in North Carolina. Back to we got a little bit of time. One more fan thing that I forgot about.
Oh God!
Because we're talking about mud bogs, I'll bring up one more. We can tell a couple crazy fan instances every week because we got plenty of those stories. Would you like to enlighten them about the first time that we played in Jacksonville, Texas at the mud bog, and I was standing on the stage like this?
It wasn't the first time. But
was it? Second? Well, I played there 3 times, so it was 1 of 3. Where were we at? River Run ATV Park. Every time we played there, it was
I didn't get to see it because
9,000 degrees.
Somebody just come around and told me, "Oh my God, you need to see this picture. Some lady was sucking your husband's toes," and I was like, "That's disgusting."
Yeah, you didn't even get mad. You were just like, "That's a nasty."
I was like, "That is a nasty person."
Look, if I have any sort of options ever, like other than church, courthouse, anywhere that makes me wear shoes, I don't. So I never have shoes on. I didn't wear shoes that entire weekend. I'm in the mud all weekend.
That's disgusting.
My parents were there that weekend.
Even if you had on shoes. Yeah, that's true.
We went everywhere that weekend. We're in Texas in the heat of the summer. Mind you, I'm a big, nasty, unshowered, probably hadn't slept in 2 days at the time, dirt bag up on this stage. And I felt something and looked down, and this lady was sucking my big toe.
Here's the thing, though.
To the point that I gagged.
I don't care.
Because I know what my toe had to taste like.
Well, that's disgusting. But
like old rotten Vienna sausage.
The thing is, is where I got pissed is because she thought she was going to walk off with one of your flip-flops.
Yeah, that's right. She told like, flip-flop bandit,
no,
the FFB.
No. I'm like, I don't give a shit if you... I don't care. You can suck all the toes you want, but bring them flip-flops back.
Yeah, those were Onakais from Gabe McKinnon.
I'm like, no. We ain't stealing the shoes.
People think just because I wear flip-flops, they're just some cheats. Hey, I spend money on my flops. That's why I keep them so long.
And, yeah, because you don't wear them. Wear them to the stage and take them off.
That's kind of that's what I'm saying. Like, I would.
After that night, I started putting your flip-flops towards the back of the stage.
Yeah. Well... They're good to have back there, too, because they're so big. Like, if there's mosquitoes out in Florida and shit, you just stand back there and just drill them and knock them down. You remember we did that show in Florida? That I had to do the show. This was pre-COVID, but I still had to have a mask on because the mosquitoes were so thick. Ugh. Every time I talked, they just fly into your throat.
I remember that.
It was like...
That was in Bunnell.
Yeah, it was bogging in Bunnell. It was right there on 100.
You know what I thought about today? Popped in my timeline was Matt.
Yeah, Carlock. Man. I was thinking about him the other day because, I'd done something in here, and literally almost everything I ever record, I sent to him, rough or not. And he used to, he'd send me back, yo, that shit's dope, bro. Or he'd send me back, yeah, I ain't feeling that shit. I was like, yeah, that's why I was sending it to him, because he didn't care. He'd tell you straight up.
Well, most people don't know. Well, I mean, a lot of people know, but Matt Carlock passed away recently, and he was a huge, from the inception, part of Moccasin Creek.
Yep.
Always there.
Literally day one.
Day one, literally. But, like, always, if we were at a Florida show.
He was in the room when we came up with the name.
This is true.
Like, he's been there from...
Day one.
Day numero uno. See, my Spanish is back.
But if we had a Florida show... He was there.
And working.
And never...
Man, change the subject before I get all choked up.
I miss Matt. God, I miss Matt.
I know, man. It's crazy.
But one of my favorite, funniest stories, though, with Matt, and I can't even really tell it. Oh, he was there in Bunnell that night. Yeah. Oh, it was...
Oh, you can tell the Carlock story. I promise you.
Yeah, but I can't, like, use the terminology that Carlock used because he uses a lot of F-bombs.
Oh,
but
yeah.
the night when he told Coolio's people...
I'll tell the story.
No.
I'll tell that 1,050% factual too.
In Carlock's honor.
So check this out. We play. Bubba the Love Sponge has a racetrack in Ocala, and we played the first ever country hip hop Southern rock festival.
Everybody was there.
Literally everybody in the genre of hip hop was there. Moonshine Bandits, Lenny Cooper, Bottleneck, us, the Lax.
So hold on.
Everybody.
I found a picture of me, Dusty, and Bottleneck.
Yeah, I saw that picture. Yeah,
a guy was like, "Oh my God, throwback!"
Everybody you could imagine in this genre is there for this first annual hip hop genre.
This was like in 2012
all
or
your
13.
hip hop artists, all your country rap artists, everybody in the genre is there. Headlined by Coolio. Like, what in the hell? So, yeah, Coolio, Gangster's Paradise, fantastic, voyages his ass onto the stage. Actually, he gets there, and when Coolio pulls up in his fantastic Voyage vehicle, they back the trailer up to the stage, and we're offloading because we were direct support for Coolio. Nah, we weren't. That's right. The bandits went after us. But either way, we had to clear the stage. Look, man, Coolio's people backing down and said something about, y'all need to move your shit. We got to get Coolio. Carlock, straight raised in New York, just straight up.
Be careful here.
Doesn't care about it. He's not confrontational. He just ain't going to put up with shit. And he's always carrying. Open carry, so people really don't say nothing to him. And he ain't small. Anyway, that dude's like, hey, man, y'all need to move your shit. And Carlock's like, chill, bro. We got this. Give us 3 minutes. He said, something about 3 minutes, blah, blah, blah. Man, this is Coolio. What? And Carlock turned around and said, I don't give a fuck about that washed up piece of shit. Y'all gonna wait 5 minutes and you gonna not get his punk ass up on the stage. Now get the fuck out of my face. And I was like, that big dude looks at it and Coolio's over there eating chicken. I swear, I'm not being stereotyped. Was he not? He was eating chicken because he came up and rap battled me.
Yeah.
Craziest story. Yeah, I can't make this up. So
this truly happened.
Damn,
I think Bird actually had it on his phone.
But Carlock's cussing out his road guy, and Coolio's over there eating chicken. He gets done and he goes, hey, that cracker crazy. I started laughing. That shit was so funny. So anyway, he got like instant respect. Everybody chill. Coolio then proceeds to climb a 20-foot scaffold.
That was earlier in the night. He climbed a 20-foot scaffold.
Was it earlier than? Either way, he climbs up toward a light truss.
That was before or after he
and jumped. He jumped.
I think he jumped. Either which way, he bounced right back up.
Like nothing happened.
And yeah, literally like bounces and says, y'all ready?
So he walks up.
Like, whoa.
He walks up to him and he's still holding this piece of chicken. It was funny because it was almost like a gimmick. You know, he like carried it everywhere. But anyway, he's like, "You a rapper?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Spit some." I got a big ass chew and I went. He's like, "Oh, you a funny rapper, huh?" Now, mind y'all, I'm still tripping because Coolio at the time was probably 43, 44 years old, maybe a little older. And he was starting to gray and get a little older and whatnot. But cool dude. But he's so little.
He is little.
Oh, he's a tiny dude. Like, I thought he was going to be like, you know, some big gangster rapper or whatever. He's a little man. Mm-hmm. Like, little tiny, but super cool dude. It was fun. It was a fun show. His performance was
interesting.
Yeah, better word than terrible. It was, there was, if you've ever been to a rap show, this is not uncommon. There's a lot of hype men and a lot of people on the stage. Coolio had the mic.
And there was 7 other people trying to share it.
Coolio had 6 or 7 other hype men that had mics. Coolio had a DJ, and Coolio had a sax player. Don't even, please, I just like, it was fun. I don't get it. Like, you got all this hip-hop, and my boys over there killing the sax. Where in the hell did this come from? So Coolio went on a fantastic voyage all the way to the sax. Like,
not real sure.
Blues. I don't know. It was
I just
crazy.
remember us standing there going, we're just going to watch this come all the way through because...
I never saw Amtrak, but it was a train wreck.
Yep.
It was something serious. It was different. Shout out to Bubba the Love Sponge. Wow. So anyway, before we take it out of this episode, you know, I'd asked and people started sending in. I had a lot of people. I was surprised. Thank y'all for sending in your inquiries, your suggestions, and all that. Start breaking down a song each week, right? We had talked about that. Like kind of in a lot. I had mentioned that and said, hey, you know, we'll break down the meaning behind some things, you know, blah, blah, blah. Any suggest? You know how many people were like, tell me about the song Walk Away? I was like.
I can tell about that song.
I was like, damn, I thought it would be like Poor Chonky or, you know, Judge My Past.
When we start telling about Walk Away, I want to tell a story.
Well,
are we telling
literally just led up for that perfectly to crescendo into that. And
okay.
Drop that ball.
Okay.
It's all good. We'll rewind. So that one time.
Okay. No, so this was, and I'm just going to be so at the very end of 2014, which was when somebody was exiting the band, and 2014 was a rough year for us because.
Chuck had been left.
No, when you wrote Walk Away, he had not been left.
He was gone.
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, hell.
Not when you wrote it. You didn't put it out. I remember this because you got in you said we were at the house and you said.
Where was we living? Crimson Drive?
Yes.
I couldn't remember, man.
It's been that long ago.
Yeah.
But no, so I'm playing, boy. So you came, we had a studio off-site, not in our house, and you said, I need to go write. And I was like, okay.
Oh, it was late, too.
It was late. It was like, well, it wasn't late. It was about 9 o'clock at night. And I was like, which was not unusual. And I was like, okay. So you left, and you went to the studio, and about not even 2 hours later, you pulled back up. And I'm like, I thought you were going to write. And you said, I did. Don't come outside. Because I remember you called me. You didn't come in the house. You called me, and you said, come outside. I want you to listen to something. And I am probably, and Jeff will tell you, I am the most critical. He's like, I probably am the Simon Cowell of country rap.
I've got 147 songs published. She's like 2 of them. So yeah,
that's
she's pretty
not
critical.
True. But no, I'm very critical of songs.
That's good.
But there's very few that I truly like. And so I went outside, you know, and I sat down in the car or truck, I can't remember. But you said, listen to this, and turned it on, and it was Walk Away, and it was you actually singing it at the time, and you rapping it, but that song was so powerful.
Oh, you cried?
The way I did, because it hit me of at that time, don't even go there.
Don't act like some loving that night.
Don't even act like you were truly heartfelt about how you felt about everything is so conflicted. And that
was the first time too. I think I actually opened up about any sort of mental issues publicly, and I didn't do it intentionally.
Yeah,
that shit was I was at.
You actually had that song. You wrote it. You recorded that, and I know we took a couple of months. Like Megan recorded that song later on because I said,
yeah, it was way down there. Yeah, in fact, I had talked about getting some different guys to sing it, and you were like,
I said it needs
different.
A girl. I said it needs a female.
And this is no shit. We were trying to figure out like who do we want on it? Who do we want on it?
It was somebody, a fan, that actually introduced.
No, it was somebody that said, you need to check out Megan Ruger. And they tagged her. Right, a fan tagged her. So we were looking at her, and we click on it, and we're like, we'll never be able to talk to her because she was literally on The Voice at the time. I'm like, and then lo and behold, we find out how the industry really works, and it's pretty shitty because she's talented.
She's very talented.
But yeah, we hit up Megan, and she's like, sure, I'll try. We went to Belmont University.
I remember this.
Because Damon was taking some classes, and he was like, hey, man, I can get some free studio time for one of my projects, blah, blah, but it's only like 30 minutes at a time. I'm like, all right, cool. So
I should have had producerial rights on this song, considering I went in there and was like, no, this is how you should sing it. And this is
first off, you got co-producer on all the albums, front to back, so it doesn't matter.
You got that on video now.
Yoko.
Bitch, I will knock you into next week.
Yoko Ono. Oh, I forgot that was a joke amongst them. Hey, so yeah. So anyway, Walk Away was I was really I guess at the time I'd probably still only been doing music 3 or 4 years, so I just was still real conflicted with,
well, like that was the
Chuck
had
left, and well,
it was
the
when
band
he hadn't even left yet. He was in the process of leaving. He was just being a dick.
Well, that aside, I was
honestly
right.
Not me not being.
Well, I've always been
facetious,
an emotional.
I'm being real.
I've always been an emotional writer, meaning whatever I'm feeling at the time I write, whether it be funny, upbeat, hyper, whatever. But for some reason, that was weird because only 2 or 3 times I can ever remember saying to myself, oh, I've got to get to the studio right now because I don't want to lose this melody or I don't want to lose this fit. And it actually worked. And that was one of them. And, there's no fake to that song. That was just,
not a bit.
It was real life. And,
not a bit.
I think it holds true. I wish I knew how to deliver and enunciate like I do now as far as rhythmically.
I think it actually went over well.
Oh, yeah, it turned out great. I think it was written well and the music's well. ER produced that. There's another one of those that me and him just clicked on. And it just, I don't know, it worked out. And I appreciate everybody that's followed it and said that, it's touched them in one way or another.
Because it can relate to so many different things if you didn't know your story behind it. If you ever just listened to it. It's a beautiful song. And I think adding her to it was...
Yeah, that was huge. It was so funny. That came up today because I told you, remember when I came over earlier, I was working on clearing out some hard drives, and I found a session with 4 or 5 songs me and her started working on at the studio in the house on Crimson, and one of them's actually really good. So I texted her. I'm like,
y'all should finish it.
I did. I texted her the rough, just a cappella. I was like, yo, so what's up with this? And she was like, oh my God, I forgot about that. How's your leg? And I was like, damn, that song must have sucked if you just went out. So anyway, that was cool. But that was how Walk Away came about. And hopefully we'll have a couple more of those in the future because we are going down to Florida here in a week or so to cut a couple of projects.
You are. I'm leaving you and Sabrina, Drop Top Blondes, and Wes. I would say Wes, but I'm leaving you in her hands because Wes,
you just offered to leave me in another woman's hands. That's a good way to end this episode.
Oh, shut up.
We'll follow up on episode 5 next week. Thank y'all for tuning in. Out the Chute with Brahma Bull and my wife, Daphne. We love y'all. Peace out.
Bye.